What's going on, everybody? Day 8 of the Brother Peanut Butter 10-day challenge. For Thankskilling. Today we are doing the awesome masterpiece of a film, 2004's Shaun of the Dead. My favorite horror comedy of all time, as this is Horror Comedy Challenge Day. Directed by Edgar Wright, who this is also the first installment in his Cornetto trilogy, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as as Shaun and as Ed. And as most of you know, or should know, I'm not saying you should know as in you better know, I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure most people have seen this movie. If you haven't, please check it out. I can't stress enough how good this movie is. These guys have worked together in so many films. They do all three of the Cornetto trilogy films. I'm not sure why it's called that. The Flavors of Cornetto trilogy. Flavor Cornetto trilogy. I'll never understand why it's called that, probably, but that's okay. The point is that they're amazing movies. You have this one kicking it off, then you have Hot Fuzz and At World's End. Now, they also worked together on Paul and quite a few other films. Not always as actors, but sometimes as writers, directors, producers, all that kind of stuff. Just absolutely amazing actors with amazing chemistry. As I said, I love this movie and I consider it a masterpiece, and there's not a single con in this movie for me. So I'm just going to go over a few things that I like about it. I love everything about it, but just a couple things I want to specifically speak on. And we're going to call it a day, because I actually have 2 more videos I need to do. And then I need to get them all edited and everything. I need to get this one up before midnight, so I make that challenge. And it was a late night at work, so I had a bit of a rush, and I had to charge some equipment, so it's just, that's how the day's been, you know what I'm saying? So, Shaun, Simon Pegg, and his best friend, Ed, Nick Frost, have to survive the zombie apocalypse together. Along with them are Shaun's ex-girlfriend, his mother, his stepfather, and his ex-girlfriend's 2 annoying flatmates. And it makes for one hell of a fun movie. This is one of the funniest films in the world, in my opinion. It is also, yes, it's an English film, and a lot of people think that English humor is dry. And there is a bit of that, but this is one of those films that's universally, what's the word I'm looking for? Universally accessible. It's universally understandable, relatable, and you can get the humor no matter what country you're from. As I was struggling to say earlier, this is the first film in Edgar Wright's 3 Flavors of Cornetto trilogy, and I have no idea what that means, but it's a cool fact. Something else that is very cool about this is this film was shown to George Romero, and he absolutely loved it. And what makes that so cool is this film has a lot of Easter eggs in it, or salutes and homages to George Romero. There's a scene where Ed is on the phone with Shaun's mother, and he says, "We're coming for you, Barbara." And that is obviously a homage to "They're Coming for You, Barbara" from Night of the Living Dead. And there's a few other Romero Easter eggs in there, and I think it's absolutely awesome. Definitely love that. I love how Edgar Wright always has such great pop culture references for basically our generation, for my generation, the generation that grew up with things like He-Man and 80s movies and, just all the cool stuff out there, actually, I love it. I love everything about it. I love how funny this movie is. It is so funny, absolutely hilarious. The writing is perfect. The dialogue is on point all the time. The acting is so good. Everything about this movie is spectacular. The gore effects are top-notch, second to none. And yes, they did have a bit of money behind it, so it makes sense that it looks good. As I said, there's a lot of Romero-esque qualities to it. The zombies are very much Night of the Living Dead style instead of, Walking Dead style. I love the music in it. I think that there is just such awesome music. I love that they use a lot of Queen. I love how there's a specific scene where They're in the bar and Queen's playing on the jukebox, and Shaun says, "Kill the Queen," and Nick goes, "Huh?" And the reason he says "huh," and most people, Americans at least, will be like, "Okay, I get it. Stop the jukebox, turn it off, stop the music." But in England, you don't say things like "kill the Queen," because you're talking about, most people would take it to you talking about the Queen of England. And you just don't do that. You don't say things like that. So it took him just a second to realize, huh? What are you talking about? Okay, gotcha. I love how heartfelt this movie is. This movie has such a genuine story of love and friendship behind it. This is a friend movie. This is a bonding movie wrapped up in a horror comedy. And it's actually a very beautiful, touching movie. Yes, I know I'm sounding like a girl talking like this, but that's the way it is for me. I love it. I love this film. There is so much good in this movie. If you have not seen this, you need to see this. I think it might be available. No, it's not. Hot Fuzz, I think, is on Netflix. Shaun of the Dead might not be. Hot Fuzz is great too. Check that one out too. But like I said, guys, this is going to be a shorter review today. There are no cons in this. There are only pros. Everything in this movie is a pro. Shorter review today because I have 2 more videos to do. And as I said, it's day 8. We have 2 more days of this challenge. And it's late. And I've got a lot to do. And I know that heater's on and it's annoying, so I'm sorry. I will hit y'all up later. This is Bronco Juggalo saying peace.